Hello, welcome back to my channel, and welcome to everything I crocheted this summer. Technically, this is from May to August, but I'm just counting that as summer to make it like a little bit more cleaner sounding. But when I first decided to do this video, I was like, I'm not gonna have that much stuff to show. And then I started getting everything out, and this is everything. And there's stuff falling at my feet while I'm holding this up. But I actually am like shocked that I crocheted this much because it didn't feel like I crocheted like at all this summer. But I know it's a lie because like I crocheted a ton of stuff for tutorials and free-handed stuff. So like obviously I did crochet, but let's get into it. I think first I'm going to start off with a couple of ones that I don't have in person because they were gifts. And since I don't have them, I'll just put a picture on the screen. First we have these little granny square purses that I made. And I ended up using extra granny squares I had from this sweater to just like stitch them together and like actually make the purses out of. But I gave them to some family members, so I don't have them anymore, but they turned out really cute. Next I have this leg warmer that I also made as a gift. And I literally just did, I think, single crochet in the back loop or half double crochet. I can't really remember, but I didn't follow a tutorial. I just like guesstimated the whole time, but it turned out really nicely and it was made out of cotton yarn and it was like the softest cotton yarn I felt in my life, which is kind of saying a lot because I don't really like cotton yarn at all. And then I made a ton of plushies and charms tutorials by Mahum Crochets for all the plushies and then also the star. And then I followed a tutorial by Hooked by Robin for the little heart charm things. They all turned out pretty well, but I will say the little like cat like stuffed animal one, I don't know what I did on the face, but like there's just something that looks off. But regardless, I still love how all of them turned out and the person I gave them to loves them too. Hopefully. And then that is actually all the ones that I don't have in person, so that makes it super easy for me. Moving on to a couple that I did actually talk about in my last like everything I crocheted video, but I hadn't like fully finished them because I don't think I weaved in the ends and I maybe still had like a little bit to stitch together. First, we have this granny square sweater, the one that I took like the extra squares from for those bags, and it is like the most adorable sweater ever. I cannot wait for it to get cold outside so I can actually wear it because right now it's pretty hot, but I love how it turned out. Next, we have this flower sweater that I know I had in the last video, but it's finally finished. I finally weaved in all the ends and it turned out so cute. And I really like it better than the like beige version of this that I made a while ago, simply because I just like subtracted a flower for one of the sections and now it like fits me better. This next one is the first skirt that I've ever made in my entire life and I freehanded it. And I made like a little informal pattern tutorial thing, but you kind of have to like customize it for like how it'll fit to you. But it will, if you're like a little bit more advanced, I feel like it'll make sense. If you're like super beginner, I would just follow a tutorial for a skirt. But regardless, it turned out really cute. I will say I didn't love that it like goes in on the sides a little bit, and I addressed that in the next skirt I made, which was this one. And I just made it like super loose, super flowy. It's like beach cover-up vibes. And it's like super wide and like comfy vibes. I love how it turned out. And I think I also put the pattern for that one in that same video, and that one's like a little bit easier to follow. So if you're gonna make one of these and you're like more beginner, I would definitely recommend making this one because it's like you do one thing different the first row and then every single row after that is the exact same. This next little bag that I made is based off of a picture I saw on Pinterest. But I did freehand it. I just like zoomed in, kind of like guessed what the stitches were. And I love how it turned out. It's really cute and it matches like some of the other stuff that I've crocheted with this same yarn. So it's kind of fun like getting to put stuff together like this in the skirt or the same yarn, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Next we have this dragonfly tube top, which was originally intended to be a halter top, but I just ran out of yarn. But it turned out really cute. It's like definitely too small for me, so I am selling it on my Depop. So you can go check that out if you want to buy this. It's probably like an extra small, but I do like how it turned out. It looks really cute. It just is like disappointing it didn't fit me, but yeah. And then I made a tutorial for this, and it is probably like 2 videos back, so it shouldn't be too hard to find. The next one I made is this granny square headband. It's so adorable and it's so simple. And I kind of like conquered my hate of weaving in ends by like crocheting over the ends on this, because I ended up only having 1 end to weave in at the very end of this, which is absolutely insane. Like I'm pretty sure I had originally 2 ends per granny square, and then ends for all the sides, and then ends for like the border too, but I just crocheted over all of them. So I do also have a tutorial for this one. It will be the one before the dragonfly top, and yeah, I think it's super beginner friendly, so if you want to make one of your own, you can definitely do that. But I also think I have this one listed on my Depop, so if you just want to buy one, you can definitely do that. Next, I have a few of very similar tops because they're all using the hibiscus flower pattern for like the bottom section, and this one is the smallest one. And it's actually the one I made the most recently, and I made this in one of my vlogs. It'll be in the thumbnail. I don't remember which vlog it was, but it turned out really cute, and I do love how the hibiscus pattern looks. I just was like not down to do the flower part because I was kind of lazy, but I do like how it looks with just like the bottom section, even not having like the flower in the middle. Next, with the hibiscus pattern as well, I have this one, and I did the hibiscus like, or I did the little flowers like a lot bigger on this one. And this one is just like a regular cup, same as this one, but this one's like a little bit bigger. And then the last one with the hibiscus has like a mesh border for the cup section, and it like ties in the middle, but you can like remove the tie if you want to. And all 3 of these are for sale on my Depop. I wanted them to fit me so bad, but they were just like a tiny bit too small. So I am selling them. Next, we have this top, which I call like the triangle top. I also have a tutorial for this on my page. It's super simple, like literally one of the most basic beginner friendly tops you could make. It's just like half double crochet and chains, I'm pretty sure, but I honestly like, it's not exactly my style. I just made it because it looked cute in the picture I saw on Pinterest. So I am selling this one, as well as this one, which is the one that I actually made in the tutorial. And I think this one's like technically a tiny bit longer than the other one, but they're both very similar sizing. And because like the front part goes down pretty far, it's kind of like flexible sizing. So if you're interested in either of those, check out my Depop as usual. Next, we have this top, which I made in my first like crochet with me video, which was super fun, and I honestly love doing those videos because they force me to catch up on works in progress, and they're just like very relaxing because I just have to lock in and crochet for like however long the video is gonna be. But I just used a bunch of scrap yarn. I did just like normal cups for these, and then I just added in all the extra colors I had, and then I have the strings long so you can like wrap it around your body, and I think I'm selling this one, but I literally cannot remember. So you can definitely check if you're interested, but I don't think it would fit me anyway, so I probably am selling it. I just made it so long ago, I honestly don't remember. And then next we have a few headbands. This yellow one and the blue one are the same pattern, but these 3 are all different patterns, and I do have a tutorial for these. They're super beginner friendly and like very simple, easy scrap yarn ideas, so I love how these turned out. but all those other 3 don't match anything that like I've already crocheted, so I'm only keeping this one because it matches the triangle top, and then it also matches another top that I'm like actually keeping. Next we have this bandana. I honestly was just using up some extra cotton yarn I had, and I'm like not a yellow person, so I am selling this one, but it turned out really cute. And it's nice because it is cotton and it's not acrylic if you're like sensitive to fabrics and stuff. Next we have this one, which is a halter like mesh top. And this is another one that I have a tutorial for, shocker, but I love how this turns out. It's like the cutest little simple top. It's like very summer friendly, but then also once it's like fall, you can like throw a little zip up on top and then it'll still fit perfectly. And then I am selling this one on my Depop as well. Next I have this flower top, which is like one of my favorite tops I've ever made. I do have a second one that I'll show you in a second. This is another one that I have a tutorial for, and I love how it turns out. And this pattern is the first time and only time that someone has ever tagged me saying that they made this top, and it looks so cute on the person that made it. And I literally like, I was ecstatic seeing that tag. So please, 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 if you follow my tutorials, please tag me. I would love to see it. You can definitely be like, hey, like don't repost this, like I don't want anyone else to see it. That's like completely fine, but I want to see it, and I'll like keep it private if you want me to. But eventually, once enough people have like shared it with me, I'll do like a post on my Instagram just like showing all of them and tagging everyone. But we haven't gotten to that point yet. But regardless, this is super cute and I love how it turned out. So that was actually the second one of these that I made, and this one was the first one. And I did like technically come up with a pattern myself for like the top part, but it's like kind of complicated because I followed a picture on Pinterest for like the design, but then the bottom section I've just made so many flower tops, sweaters, skirts that I just like memorized the pattern, but like technically I didn't come up with it myself because I followed tutorials for those other things. But regardless, so cute. I love these tops so much. Like genuinely, I can make a whole wardrobe of these tops. They're so cute. Next, we're gonna use the end of stuff I've made tutorials for, but we have this halter bralette, which is very cute, and I like how the top section is like purposely not like a typical cup. You like make it wide enough and then you're just doing double crochets back and forth, because I feel like sometimes the physical like cups don't fit well on me, so this one fits a lot better. But I am selling this one because it's just like not really my style, but it's really cute and it is on my Depop. Next we have these tank tops. First I have this one, which honestly was just like using up scrap yarn, figuring out the pattern, and it like didn't turn out as well as like the other ones I made were. So I'm kind of glad that I tested out with this one, and this one is just one I'm gonna keep for myself and never wear because it just like didn't work out well. But the one that I actually made in the tutorial, which you can find on my page, is this one, and it's just like a simple tank top, super simple. And you have the option to like make the strings literally just like the yarn, or you can do chains. So it's pretty flexible and it's so simple. Like every beginner should be able to make this. Next we have this little mini purse, and I freehanded this so many times that I finally decided, let me just make a tutorial for it because I'm sure other people want to make stuff like this. And I think maybe it was the first or second time that I freehanded one of these. It was to make a purse small enough to be able to bring to a concert, and I was like, it's so cool being able to just like create something out of nothing instead of having to like buy anything, even though technically I had to buy the yarn, but I think I just was using scrap yarn, so it feels like it was made out of nothing, you know? But yeah, these are super cute, and you have the option of just like making the bottom section longer so it's like an actual like tote bag, or you can just like make it a little mini purse vibe. And then I'm gonna save my favorite for last, but we just have a couple works in progress to show you. First is this rug that I did show in my last video. And I've not made that much more progress on because I need it to be like this wide and it's like going this way. So I gotta work on it, but it's honestly like a very monotonous project. So like I don't really opt to go to it. I opt to start new projects when I'm like in the mood to crochet, but eventually I will have a rug made out of that, hopefully. Next we have this, which eventually is going to be a little off-the-shoulder sweater. I do have to like take a little bit of this apart to fix it because I like messed up the sizing, but this is like the reality of freehanding stuff based off the picture, because you're gonna mess stuff up sometimes and like have to take it apart and redo it. But I'm like not that far in, so it'll be totally doable. But yeah, I just kind of have been procrastinating about this, and I took my trip a little bit after starting it, so like I wasn't like around to work on it. Next we have this same top that I showed in my last video. Except now I finished the base, and as I said in the last one, it's like stretchy in the back so that it fits me like perfectly skin tight, and you don't have to like zip it or anything, and you don't have to tie it, which I really love because that is one thing that like stops me from wearing crochet tops sometimes. And I have one sleeve done, and this is the type of thing that like it looks weird when it's off, but it fits perfectly to my skin. So like it's like skin tight and perfect, but when it's off it looks a little bit sus. And then next we have these bats that I made, and I'll just like put the clip over this because they're on my wall already, but I've made a couple of these bats a long time ago, and then I decided to just use up some extra scrap yarn and do the rest of them, and they turn out so cute, and it's like right perpendicular to my leaves that are hanging next to my bed. So I think it's really cute, and I love like having a little crochet corner over there because I crochet in bed a lot. And then showing my best for last, this is maybe the best thing that I've ever crocheted in my opinion, because I used so much brain power to like figure out how to crochet it, because it was based off a picture, but like it was so confusing because like some parts of it looked like you were crocheting from up to down, and then other parts looked like you were crocheting from the bottom to the top, which I was like, how, like that's not possible to do that. So it is this top. I literally love this top so much. Like, you don't understand. I'm obsessed with her. It doesn't look like that amazing, honestly, when it's just like sitting like this, but like when I tell you I worked so long on this and I'm so proud of it, like genuinely this is my favorite thing that I've ever made in my entire life. So that is everything, which is a little bit sad because I feel like I only have like 2 works in progress right now, which is actually, I have 3. I have 3 works in progress right now that I need to keep catching up on, and I technically have a couple that are in my cupboard being ignored, but I don't actually want to work on those. So hopefully next time that I do one of these videos, I'll have done just as many things, because this was really exciting, and this is a lot of stuff. I can't believe I crocheted this much, but yeah, that was so fun. Anyway, make sure that if you're interested in any of these tutorials, you check down below on my page because they will all be there. And then if you have any ideas for stuff I should crochet in the future based on like the vibe of the stuff I normally crochet, let me know, because I'm always looking for inspo. That's why I'm always finding stuff on Pinterest, because I'm like, I don't know what to crochet, but I'm really bored and I want to crochet, and then I just like find stuff, and then I'm like, all right, well, I'll just try and make that out of no tutorial and no pattern. Let me know what kind of stuff you're working on right now, even if it's not crochet, if it's knitting, or if it's art, or like literally any type of crafty stuff. I'm so interested and I love seeing that type of stuff. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye! is based off a picture I saw. Next, I have this like, okay, check that this wasn't in the last video because I swear to God, it seems too familiar. Next with, oops, that's not it. Which, oh,